Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time. I am out on the pasture today with Atlas and Ari, and Ram is over there. So today, I had kind of I guess it's a revelation this morning when I woke up. I felt like I understood something better than I have in the past. And this is in thanks to Atlas right here. Atlas is my lesson on time. I always say this is the slowest training method in the world. It takes the time it takes. The horse gets to decide the timeline. But I have never had anything take quite as much time as it does with Atlas. And, that's from his history of trauma and everything he's had in his past that was really difficult for him. But it's been a gift. It's been a gift to realize that if you give things time, there is more change possible than you might have imagined. And Atlas right here, Atlas is my lesson in time. We don't always have time. I think a lot of horse training methods are based on being efficient with time, getting a job done so that we don't waste time. A horse's lifespan feels short, so we make the most of that lifespan and the most of our time. But freedom-based training looks at all this a little bit differently. I look at time as this gift to explore what's voluntary. What can we do together that is given freely instead of pushed for the efficiency of time? And, it's not for everybody. Or a lot of people like to intersperse freedom-based training with other training methods so that sometimes you're training for time efficiency and sometimes you're training for depth of relationship. And that's what I call this idea of freedom-based training. It's a depth of relationship where the horse gets to volunteer what they're ready for. So one of the things we see right here is Ari and Atlas are grazing quite close together. And this is special to me. We've had a lot of ups and downs where I think maybe they're friends and then they have a big fight and then somebody gets really hurt and then they don't want to be anywhere near each other and then they fight through the fences and I have to backtrack and not let them be together at all. And then with time and patience, approach and retreat, the awareness of stress levels, we get this again, where they can be together and they can be happy together. And, that feels really special to me when I watch their feet start to match and them choose to look in the same direction and them choose to be close together when they don't have to. They have enough space, they could be far apart. And I will tell you, after they've had a big stallion fight, they do choose to be very far apart. They do not choose to be close together like this. So I know that this is a choice that they make. And that's what's really interesting to me, is the choice. I had a really good workout yesterday, so my arm is really tired. So I'm going to switch hands here. Get a little panoramic view here. So we have Ari and Atlas out in the pasture together. And, they're two stallions. They do have a tendency to fight when their stress gets high. I can't have them living together yet. Why do I put them together at all? Well, because it's really interesting. It's really interesting watching them learn how to interact with each other, learn how to self-soothe, learn how to lower their stress so they don't get in a fight. Welcome, Anna. You're here for the live today. Wonderful. So, I do keep putting these boys together in a hope that the education is interesting for all of us. Now, we have this gift of time where, you know, if they never can live together full time, that's the way it is. It's not something I am pushing for. It's something I'm playing with. And, you know, a game is something that everybody enjoys. A lot of times what one thinks is a game is a fight to somebody else because it's too much pressure and it brings up fight and flight. And my goal is to play this game where I expose Ari and Atlas to each other at good times of low stress so that they can enjoy their relationship and their friendship to the degree that it's possible for them. Rachel says, time doesn't exist with my herd, and I love that. If and when it happens, that's great. Yeah. And I think it's not so much that it doesn't exist, Rachel, it's that there's an abundance of time. There's no lack, there's no shortage. If and when and how it happens, that's wonderful. So I have a little story to tell about Atlas here. He woke me up this morning in the best way. See, I have two paddocks, so that my internal paddock is for one of the stallions, and then the other stallion is out in the woods with my gelding Rom, and Rom is over there right now. So it was Atlas and Rom who were out in the woods last night, and I woke up this morning to them playing. They were running and playing that game where they bite at each other's faces, and it's a game of quick escape, and they were having so much fun. And I watched them. They were sort of through the trees and through the fence, and I was able to watch them play and explore all the different terrain, and it was really fun. But it was fun for a lot of reasons. One, when Atlas and Ari play, the two stallions, what I notice is that Atlas's front legs will get really far back underneath his belly just before a fight breaks out. So it's one of the signs I can look for. If I notice him starting to get really unbalanced over his front legs, I know that I need to break up the game because it's becoming overwhelming. It's too much for Atlas. What was fun about watching him play with the gelding Rom is he didn't get overwhelmed. Those front legs stayed in a balanced position in front of his stomach, up underneath his shoulders in a way that he felt comfortable. And so, you know, I was able to just sit in bed and look through the window and watch Atlas and Rom play and play and play. And, you know, it was just awesome. Now, the best part about this was, for those of you who've been following Tea Time for a while, I'm going to switch arms here again. I did a video probably about a year ago where I got a lot of comments that Atlas was four-legged lame and that he was very uncomfortable, and, you know, that I should be putting him on pain medication. And, you know, those were a really interesting set of conversations to have, because I believe things like pain in horses are really valuable information. And I opted not to do any of those things for Atlas. I opted to use quiet, steady movement, good nutrition, and, you know, as low stress a lifestyle as possible to see what he could do with his own healing power. I'm not just saying that pain medication is bad. I think it's perfect in some situations. I'm saying in this particular situation, I opted to really follow the natural course and not give Atlas a lot of outside help. Partially because at the time he wouldn't eat anything I fed him, and there was really not a lot I could do for him. But at that time, he could not walk up and down a hill without going at a snail's pace and looking like he was very much in pain. And I thought, maybe this is the way it is forever. Maybe Atlas will never be comfortable. Maybe his injuries and his arthritis in his joints is so bad that he will never be comfortable. And, you know, that's the interesting thing about letting the natural course of things take place, is you don't know the outcome and you don't know how much time things take. Well, fast forward, we're about a year later from that video, I think. And This morning, Atlas and Rom were playing on the side of the hill. They were trotting, they were cantering, they were passaging around, they were rearing, they were bouncing, and there was not a hint of soreness in Atlas. Now, he may be sore tomorrow because it was an awful lot of activity, but he was so sound and comfortable and playful. Rom lay down to roll, and Atlas just kept passaging around in this elevated trot on the side of a hill. And I thought, I didn't know that he had that in him, but he does. And there's going to be ups and downs. I'm not saying Atlas is healed forever. He does have a lot of old injuries. He does have arthritis. As he's willing to eat more varieties of things, I'm able to improve his nutrition. It's a very slow evolution. But I guess the point that I wanted to make today is that time, giving things time, living a really good, healthy life where I give him the support that I can of good nutrition and a low stress life and good friends and all of those good, healthy living things, the body is able to heal in ways that we don't always expect. Now, body work would be great. It could be that there's some pharmaceuticals that will help him with his arthritis as we go on. As he trusts me more, I will be able to offer him a little bit more help and support. But there's a really beautiful thing about realizing a good, healthy life, an effort to lower stress every day, and it's amazing what time will bring. Give it time. Atlas is going into his 3rd year with me now. It's a lot more time than I anticipated spending on the beginning steps of this process. He and Ari here, it was supposed to be a year-long process that I was going to film for a movie, just like I did with the first one. And it became clear that a year was just not long enough. It was just not long enough for these 2 horses. Now, I think if it had been only Ari and I, a year would have been plenty long to film a movie and do amazing things. Because I had the 2 of them, and Atlas got 99% of my attention because he needed it, this movie's going to be a little bit longer to film. And that's just the way it goes. I'm going to sit back, enjoy the time it takes, and keep filming. There'll be a movie about the process here at some point. But look at that. Look at those 2 choose to graze side by side. I'm not saying this will last forever. If they have another fight, they won't want to be near each other for quite a while. Hopefully I am aware enough that I can interrupt and give them some focus changes and some other things to think about if the stress goes up, and I'll be able to recognize it before there's any fight. But for now, I'm just really, really content that they can choose to get this close together and then far apart and then close together. And there's that ebb and flow of relationship without it becoming overwhelming for Atlas. It's really, really exciting. Yeah, Rachel, it is really exciting. Atlas has come such a long way. And it's the positive energy of saying, there's a lot of things that are not possible or a lot of things that are not working, but what are all the things that are working? How do we pour energy into all the things that are working and just develop and expand the horse's comfort zone as we can, as the horse is willing to volunteer? So those are my thoughts for today. I'm going to leave you with this beautiful sight. Rom's even coming over here to join them. And I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a good year. I think Atlas's body is feeling better. I think he's not in pain the way he was before. His trust is increasing. And as those things get better, his friendships can get better and his stress will stay lower. So we'll just keep pouring in all sorts of effort to what we can do and we'll build it and grow it and nurture it, and we'll see where it goes. So thank you guys for joining me on this journey, and I will see you next week.